Hi friends, this is a slightly longer video perhaps. I'm not sure how long it's going to be, but here I'm going to discuss uh, as in your class 9 as in your class 9 syllabus 9 as in your class 9 economics syllabus. It's called the Indian economy. Okay, so here we are going to study Indian economy. Okay, so as you know, in the first three parts we have dealt with introduction, and we have dealt with types of economies and problems of an economy. And as I also mentioned in earlier video, that you have to study an economy with reference to some economy. Maybe if you're studying a mixed economy, perhaps you have to study one country. If you're studying capitalist economy, developing economy, so you have to take some examples. Now since we are studying economics, and we are studying types of economies, so of course it is important to understand what is our economy, what is Indian economy. So in Indian economy, if you see, the first thing which you have to know is the primary sector. Okay, what is primary sector? I'll just tell you. See, in a country, when production takes place or when a service is offered, all these things are different kinds of services or goods produced in a country. So primary sector basically refers to agriculture. Okay, I'm just giving you a very brief understanding as per syllabus, and we will deal with all of these later in later videos. So primary sector is agriculture. Okay, this you are going to study as primary sector. Contribution of agriculture, problems of Indian agriculture, government measures to increase agricultural production, green revolution and its impact on food security. So if you see it, primary sector, we are studying agriculture, and I'll just mention the keywords, which are contribution of agriculture. We have to know problems. Okay, if you keep these keywords in mind, you will of course remember what you have to study. Problems of Indian agriculture, government measures to increase agricultural production. So I'm putting it as government measures. Okay, government measures. See, I'm putting a sign here, to increase agri production. Okay, next thing here is green revolution and its impact on food security. So what is green revolution? I'll just put the word here. See, this is important. Okay, green revolution. So what is green revolution? This is very important here. Okay, and we will study this later also in other videos. Now here, see, I'm just going to make it very short. If you want to see it in detail, you can look into the ICSE syllabus. There is a part which discusses agriculture here, and it's called agriculture and allied activities. Okay, agriculture and allied means the related activities, which we will study here. Okay, this means like meaning, contribution of agriculture to employment, industry, trade and self-sufficiency in food production, a brief understanding of the all the terms which have been mentioned. A second part which you are going to study here is problems of Indian agriculture. Okay, problems. What are the problems of Indian agriculture? I'll just put it short. So what problems do we face? Actually, a brief understanding of it you need to know. You need to know that we have very limited technology, there is fragmentation of land holdings, there is dependence on monsoon, there is lack of rural credit facilities, inadequate storage and marketing facilities. So there are a lot of things which you are going to study here, but as I said, I'm just making a brief video for you so that you listen to it and you have a fair understanding what all we are going to study. A third part which we have here is, if you see after B in your syllabus, it says government measures to improve. Government measures. Okay, government measures to improve government measures to improve agricultural production. Okay, this is important. So what do we understand here? uh, Actually it is, that use of high yielding variety seeds, that is using seeds which are of better quality, which produce more crop. Under this we are also going to study use of fertilizer and insecticides. We are going to study better irrigation facilities, adoption of technology, setting up of agricultural research centers and institutes, provision and expansion of rural credit facilities. These are, like, the steps we have got to study under this. Provision of better storage and marketing facilities, a brief understanding of all that we have just mentioned above. Okay, so you're getting, I think, a fair idea of what we are going to study here under this. Now, the next part which we have here is, after government uh, measures, is, if I can just write it here for you, is the next part is green revolution. Okay, as I mentioned again here, green revolution, this is important. Okay, it's mentioned above also. And the last part under this section, this subsection, is meaning of food security. This is important. Okay, meaning of what is food security for an economy. Meaning of food security, right? It's going to be easy, don't you worry. And under this we are going to study something called Food Corporation of India. Okay, Food Corporation of, if you have not heard of these terms, don't get worried, these are very interesting term. Corporation of India. Okay, which is also termed, abbreviated as FCI. Very important term and very interesting also. And here, this was, if you recall, what we have just mentioned above is, this is all under primary sector. Okay, so this is number 1 in primary sector. Now we are studying agriculture in primary sector. The second part which we are going to study here is just let me put it here, which is called, yes, any guesses after primary sector, what should be the next thing we are going to study? It's called secondary sector. Okay, secondary sector. Now if there was agriculture in primary sector, there has to be something in secondary sector, and yes, if you are guessing it right, it's called industry. Yeah, so industry, you have to understand here the meaning and types, adverse impacts of industrialization, and measures to overcome adverse impacts. This is what the syllabus mentions. So first thing you have to study here is, it's meaning of industry. Okay, meaning of industry, like, a brief understanding you should be having of the interdependence of agriculture and industry, how agriculture and industry are dependent on each other or interdependent. Second part which you're going to study here is types of industries, right? Very important and very interesting, types of industries. Okay, this we will study here. That is large scale and medium scale industries, meaning, features and examples only that you have to know. You have to know what is a cottage industry, you have to know what is a small scale industry, meaning, features and examples of all of it, and with reference to India. Okay, so reference to India, mind it, this is very important. You just can't study economic theory without bringing in examples, so that's very very important. Okay, and the third part here is adverse impacts of industrialization. Adverse impacts. Okay, adverse impacts of industrialization. What do you understand by this? Tell me, any idea what is adverse impact? That is how industries affect us, not only positively but also how it affects our living, how it affects an economy adversely. A brief understanding of the adverse impacts with reference to industrial pollution and deforestation. So see here you get the words. Adverse means how it's affecting us negatively, not only helping us produce more, helping us enjoy life with more products, but also how it's affecting us negatively or adversely. So you have to understand with reference to industrial pollution. I'm just mentioning this here, industrial pollution. Okay, this is important here, how it's polluting. Deforestation, yes, deforestation, you understand, how we are losing forest cover because of industrialization. Measures to overcome the adverse impacts. What are the measures? You have to understand two things, very key, very important words or keywords. One is called afforestation, and the second part is called waste. Lot of waste we produce each year. What do we do with this waste? Okay, waste management. Okay, waste management. And when you have studied the two sectors, then primary, secondary, there of course comes a third sector, which is called, I'll just put it here. Yes, you must be knowing this term, right? If not, I'll just tell you. The third, first is primary, second is secondary. So what is the third? It's called tertiary. Tertiary. I'll spell it Tertiary. Tertiary sector. What do you have in tertiary sector? You have, you study as education. You will study as one tertiary sector. You will study healthcare. Okay, hospitals and all that stuff. Healthcare, or what else you have is healthcare. You will study transportation. Okay, very important sectors. Then you have banking. Okay, don't get just confused. These are going to be very interesting and very scoring if you study properly. Insurance, maybe you're not familiar with some of the words, actually you must have heard, but insurance. Okay, so don't worry, it's going to be easy. Communication, what is communication? And after this you have storage and warehousing. Storage and warehousing. Housing. Okay, what you have to study here is role of each of the above in the economic development of the country in brief, with the help of examples. Okay, so this was the Indian economy you have to study. And under Indian economy, these are the things. Let me just go back, try to recall what we are studying here under this part of the syllabus. Let's see, we are studying Indian economy. Okay, and see, as I said, I'm going to have all of it in later videos, but you should just have the framework in your mind, like what we are studying. So in Indian economy, we are going to study primary sector. Okay, which is nothing more, nothing less, it's agriculture. And in agriculture, we are going to study many things like contribution, problems, government measures to help agricultural production increase. And there is this term which I have told you, you have to know what is green revolution in Indian context. What do we call green revolution? Okay, and with this, if you move on, you have other things you are going to study under this part of syllabus, which is agriculture and allied activities, that is activities which are related to agriculture, problems of Indian agriculture, government measures to improve agricultural production, green revolution, and food security. And what is Food Corporation of India? This is an important word which you have to know in this part of the syllabus. Let's move on. Then comes our secondary sector. Just one sec. Secondary sector means, in secondary sector, this is secondary, which is not primary, of course. Here we are going to study industry. You have to study what is industry, how these two are related to each other, agriculture and industry. You have to study types of industry, different kinds of small scale, large, blah blah blah. There's a lot of classification, but it's easy, don't you worry. And all of it you have to study with reference to India. And you have to study what is adverse or negative impact of having industrialization in a country, where there are certain terms which you have to you will have to know. And what are the terms we are supposed to know here are, one is what is industrial pollution. Yeah, here is industrial pollution, deforestation, and two keywords here, afforestation and waste management. Okay, and the last which you're going to study under Indian economy part here is the tertiary sector. And the sectors you are going to study is education, healthcare, transportation, banking, okay, insurance, communication, storage, and warehousing. So this is pretty long a part of the syllabus which you are going to study. Thanks for watching. If you like, please like it, subscribe it, share my channel. Thank you.